The weather is warming up, and we know you don't want to spend all of your free time indoors cooking meals. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal kit, delivers nutritious meals straight to your door, leaving you more time to get outside and soak up the sun. I got to say, yes, this will save you time, but it will save you from the issue of buying too much food at the market. That's my biggest problem. Portion control. And what Factor does, it's going to give you fun, creative, delicious meals that have a beginning, middle, and end. You won't be grazing for hours on end, which is my issue when I'm trying to stay healthy and get fit. Factor's always fresh, never frozen meals take just 2 minutes to prepare. So you'll be eating well no matter how hectic your schedule becomes. With over 34 chef-prepared, dietitian-approved options each week, there's always something new and exciting to try. That's a big deal, because if you are trying to stay healthy, okay, you'll do grilled chicken and vegetables. Then the next night you'll do grilled chicken and vegetables. Then the next night you'll do salmon. Then the next night you'll do back to grilled chicken. And you've run out of ideas. Factor comes in a variety of lifestyle options, and it's creative with each of them. So if you're vegan, vegetarian, keto, or calorie counting, there's something delicious waiting for you and many different options of that delicious. Head to factormeals.com/JTrain50 and use code JTrain50 to get 50% off your first box. Wow. That's code JTrain50 at factormeals.com/JTrain50 to get 50% off your first box. Hello and welcome to the JTrain podcast. This is JTrain, Jared Freid, coming to you live from Spokane, Washington. That's right. Every Monday we take your emails. We give some advice, some perspective. I want to thank you for sending in your emails and listening to the show. It is a user-generated operation here. Without you, the listener, we wouldn't have anything to talk about. We wouldn't have anyone to speak to. Honestly, thank you. Thank you for being a listener. Thank you for telling a friend. That's how it works. I don't got a billboard out here in Spokane. I got you and your big fat mouth. And I want you to keep telling a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa, anyone. We'll take them all. This show is for everybody. Don't be constrained by the idea of, oh, well, they talk about dating. I got friends, they're all married. People love hearing about the problems of other people's lives. It lets you put your brain on the shelf. So keep spreading the word. Make it your Instagram story. Woo! That feels good when you make it your Instagram story. Make it, maybe make a TikTok about it. That'd be fun. I'll share that TikTok. You tag me, I'll TikTok it to the world. And send in your problems. We want dating, relationship, lifestyle. I like that it's moved into lifestyle problems. I like that we're getting into some other bigger issues. Hey, someone stole my AirPods. How do I deal with the morality issues? I like these. JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. That's JTrain Podcast at gmail.com. Keep sending them in. And I'm banking these, as a lot of you know. I'm getting a lot of episodes done. I'm heading off to Europe, so if you're listening now, come to the European. If you have friends in Europe, let them know Papa JT's coming to town. Let them know. The parade float is coming through your European city. Dublin, Belfast, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, London, Oslo. Like, who the fuck is listening in Oslo? Maybe you're in Oslo right now and you're going, I'm listening. Come to the show, jaredfreid.com. I'm also going to be in Austin, Nashville. We're doing You Up Live. That's coming in New York, Chicago, D.C., Philadelphia. We're coming back. We haven't been to Philadelphia in a couple years for the You Up Live. So get those tickies, jaredfreid.com, jaredfreid.com. Very excited about today's guest, an OKP to the show, original key player. Very excited to have him back. He is a hilarious comic, has a new special that is on Dry Bar called Cranky Pants. Dustin Chafin, thank you for coming on.
Hey, what's up, buddy? Great to see you.
Great to see you. Old friend, hilarious comic, moved to the West Coast, so I feel like I never see you anymore. How are you? Tell me about your life. What's going on?
I'm good. I'm out here just, in these sunshiny California, just loving it. Moved out of Queens and just I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? I don't miss the R train and some dude with no pants. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's nice.
We were chit-chatting a little before. You know, the New York comic goes to LA. It feels like whenever I see friends that are there, it just feels like they look more alive. They look more colorful. Like, I feel like in New York you get this this gray, dead look,
Yeah, it beats you down. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a bad internship. You know what I mean? Like you're just it's just on you all the time. I mean, I love it. I love New York, and I still miss the pizza and the bagels and the comedy hang and all that. But yeah, but when you got like a desert and the mountains and a beach, it's kind of fun.
To me, the major difference with LA, the one thing where you feel the difference is in what you can order as sides at a restaurant. LA has the best vegetable side choice. Like New York, it's like French fries or French fries.
Yeah.
In LA, they'll be like, we got shoestring peas. And you're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, in New York, you get that little ketchup bucket with, coleslaw in it. Like this little tiny,
That's as vegetable as it gets.
Yeah.
A mayo-based, and a pickle. Yeah. LA, it is inventive vegetables. And it's always so when you see someone of course you're healthier with the options that are at your disposal there.
Yeah, and you're getting the sun, vitamin D. Yeah, you like living when you live in California.
Right, you're living better. It is
the posture's better. Everything's better. In New York, you're just hunched over and
hunched over. Yeah, we're all just disintegrating into elder Jews. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be the 60-year-old that takes steroids. That's how I want to age out, Muscle Beach, just
right. So you look great. I'm happy for you in the big move. Now you have a special. Now we listen. This is this podcast. I am trying to get everyone to go watch more specials, get involved. This is a different. What I love, you did it with Dry Bar. Explain, because when people come on, go to YouTube, go to whatever. Explain Dry Bar to the people at home.
Dry Bar is a relatively newer platform for stand-up comics. It's on the kind of more family-friendly side of comedy, where they want to kind of all the specials we kind of rein it in a little bit, and kind of more of a PG, if you will. And
I wouldn't describe you as a PG comic. What I would say is that what you get with Dry Bar is the assurance that you could sit with a larger group of people to watch a comedy special.
Yeah, you can watch it with your Nana. You know what I mean?
Right. and Nana, that doesn't mean Nana's in on every joke, but that means Nana's not going to look at you and go, what are they talking about on here? You could have a fun time with Nana.
What's scissoring mean? Yeah, you're not going to have some weird conversation with your grandmother.
Now, Nana, WAP is wet ass pussy. Wet ass pussy. No, it's not an ass pussy. It's just that it's very wet, which is wet ass, and it's a pussy. It is. It takes away.
It's a wet cat, Grandma.
Right. But I think this is necessary. I think the idea, and also listen. I don't consider myself a dirty comic. I wouldn't consider you a dirty comic. I'd be like Dustin Chafin, funny. And what I would say to people out there is it's like, when I'm sure Dry Bar comes to you and says, "Hey, Dustin, we want to do a special with you," and you're like, and you go through your act and the catalog, and you go, "Well, that's one I don't have to say fuck."
Yeah, it's basically like doing a late night set, but it's like 25, 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it's instead of the short 5 or whatever. So it's just an extended version of it, which people seem to enjoy. The late nights, that's really all it is. And, I've worked with a lot of people lately that are coming more on the clean side and whatnot. So I'm learning how to do that. And I like the challenge of it. I think it's like, good for a comic to be able to, do both sides of comedy. You do the edgy and whatever. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. And here's the thing. Sometimes, edginess is easier than being clean and thoughtful.
Yeah.
Sometimes what I've noticed is like, if I'm told, hey, keep it clean, keep it PG-13, keep it what I notice is that when I go through like what jokes I'm going to do, it's like, oh, this is the rewrite it needed anyways.
Exactly.
And which I think is like a really good thing. Like you probably looked at a joke and you went, you know what? Okay, maybe there's another example instead of scissoring. And then you go, and then you thought of the next example and you go, wow, the joke is like a fuller, more me version.
Yeah. They just played softball. Like it was a completely different direction,
right?
But the same,
Right. So I want everyone to go get Dustin's special. So it's on Dry Bar Comedy. How do people find it?
Dry Bar Comedy. It's on Apple TV. It's on Roku, whatever that is. You can check it out. And here's the deal. It's a service, but if you put in D Chafin, capital D Chafin, my last name Chafin, you get a free month of Dry Bar, and you get to see all the specials, all these really cool comics. It's great.
It's really good comedy. It's so funny, and I've known Dustin forever, and he's hilarious. You're all going to love the special. It is called Cranky Pants, and you can go find Dustin on Instagram at Dustin_Chafin. Go follow. We'll be all over my social media. We'll have a link in the description of this episode to get you directly to Dustin on Dry Bar. Cranky Pants, why'd you call it Cranky Pants?
I was watching the set, and and it's so funny because we're such like moody, broody bitches sometimes as New York City comics. So first of all, this is a Provo crowd. Which one thing I want to add in, which is really funny about my life, is I was a former missionary and former Mormon, and the first time I was in Provo, Utah, was the Missionary Training Center, and so I lived this whole life. God. Left the church, came back, and then now I'm doing stand-up comedy in Provo, Utah. So the return is hilarious to me.
Right.
I came back as a comedian when as a young missionary, coming out of Provo. So it's really funny.
It is very funny the way these things start. It's like okay, you must have gotten emotional.
A little bit, yeah. It was, it was interesting because, and I geared the comedy for them a little bit, and but sometimes, it's still Provo. It's not like Jersey, so they're tough. So I get a little broody on stage, and so I was just laughing. And Leah, my girl's a comedian, and she said, "How about Cranky Pants?" And we laughed. It was like, why not? Who has a special name, Cranky Pants? Nobody. And I was like, hey, I'll do merch. I'll get sweatpants.
Right.
So it was more of a goof, and then it feels catchy, so we just kind of went with it. And I'm a broody bitch, so it works.
I love it. I love that and it's funny, like we're talking about Dry Bar. Why is it PG? Why is it this way? Yeah. It's like, they're trying to create for a certain audience. You meet, when you go to Utah, you meet the people that are in that section of society, and they're all like the nicest people. Like, and it's like,
oh yeah,
and they do want comedy, and it's like, how nice is it that they're like, okay, and this is now open for the option to like keep your grandma involved. Like, it is nice.
Yeah, and it's not. Yeah, and it's still adult. It's not corny, And I feel like that's the thing. I work with the amazing Nate Bargatze, and working with him has made me realize it's like you can be clean and not be corny and be interesting and be edgy. Even he's done edgy stuff.
Absolutely.
So it's like you learn how to do that without dropping the F-bomb and like talking about going down on a girl, whatever. Like you could do that. Right. In another way. Hey, I just took her to the movies instead of going down on it. Like you find ways to kind of, play with it. But I think you'll enjoy it no matter what your preferences.
Oh, totally.
Even if you like Bill Burr or edgy comics or whatever, I think you're still gonna like some of the stuff on Dry Bar, especially my special, because I think I'm part of that fold. We all are. Like we're all. Right. I feel like New York City comics, you, all us guys, Cellar guys, whatever. We're all from this foxhole of comedians, and we all come from that. If you like one of us, you like the next kind of thing. You're
gonna love it. I agree. Yeah. It is funny because like I'm working on, some material currently where it's like you have to follow someone that's like, and I fucked him in the ass, and then I'm like, hey, and then you get on stage and you go, hey, so is anyone going on vacation with their family recently? And you're like, you feel like such a wuss, but it's like, it is funny. Like, you said you touring with Nate Bargatze and being around him, like you go, oh, we're all like, okay, I don't have to worry about it takes it out of your head. It's not in the audience's head.
Yeah.
It's your head because, even when you go up after the person that's like, oh, fingering, and then you're like, hey, does anyone save beach chairs? Have a mom that's like kind of annoying? The audience is sitting there going, yeah, okay, new flavor of ice cream. It's all ice cream, but like, give us the new flavor. So this is great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's really funny. I mean, because in New York, it's like we all come up through weird, kind of shows and different things. I mean, my first TV thing was Showtime White Boys in the Hood. There's no way you could do that show now. Like they would cancel that in a heartbeat.
Right.
Was white comics doing black jokes in front of black crowds. I mean that because we came up through Uptown rooms. Like we were doing Latino urban nights and stuff like that. So that's how like that group of comics, how we kind of, got our legs. But so it changes every year. It just keeps changing.
Well, really, you're just developing the skill to like get a laugh out of a crowd, and then it's like, and then you go, okay, well, I have the skill. Now, how do I want to use that skill? How do I want to put it into practice? What makes me feel good? So again, everyone at Dustin_Chafin, Dry Bar Comedy Special. It's called Cranky Pants. All the links, all the good stuff is in Dustin's profile on Instagram, as well as the description of this episode. Let's get to the emails. You ready?
Let's do it. This is exciting. That's why I'm here.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Casual sex and nudes. Okay. Jared, love listening to you, and Jordana, she listens to you up as well. Always. People probably think I'm the village crazy as I burst out laughing on my walks about town with you in my ear. Coming to see you in Spokane with some friends. Pumped. Oh, my God. Well, I hope you had a good time.
Get at least two now.
Right. I got two people who aren't watching the Gonzaga game. If you're listening right now, I will have talked about the Gonzaga game and the shows on the Patreon, patreon.com/Jared Freid. My plan is to talk about it on Coffee with JTrain. It is, what a weekend to be here. Okay. 2 of the 3 nights have Gonzaga games. It's crazy. It's okay. I'm a 27-year-old female in a mid-sized Western college city town. Yeah, Spokane, you're here. I got out of a relationship a couple months ago, and I'm at the point in the healing process where I'm wanting to explore myself and others sexually, but don't really want a long-term relationship. I had a weird experience with a younger guy, 22, still in college. That makes me nervous for navigating this desire for casualness. I had met him a couple of times in person through a mutual hobby, and he followed me on Instagram, sliding into the DMs liking an old photo of me. I knew what he was doing, and after a bit of time after my breakup, I started to play along. We flirted a bit on Instagram. He was always in and out, disappearing for days, coming back when I would message something new. Eventually, I was like, here's my number. Let's just move this to text, which he did immediately. It made me laugh when he said, I'm glad we could graduate to texting, as if it was his idea, fucking 22-year-olds. That night, we ended up getting saucy and sexting all night. It was hot. I tried to get him over, but he had an 8 a.m. exam the next day, LOL. We even chatted on the phone for a little bit. He said my voice turned him on, yada, yada, yada. We had established before this that we were both really attracted to each other, and I thought this would be the start of a really hot, casual sex relationship. I'll admit that in the heat of the moment, I sent him a topless picture, and it was received well, obviously, I guess. Ha, ha, ha. Then the next day, he sent me like a very short reply to something I had asked. I asked him something again, and no response. Since then, nothing. I followed up asking if he was ever going to make a plan with me before kept saying, oh, we will for sure meet soon, but never made any actual plans. I felt like the mom trying to move things along, but I knew I was physically into him, so it would be a lock and exciting. I finally sent a message telling him what I wanted, casual, and to let me know if he could meet me there or not. He still couldn't. Fast forward a few days and still have yet to hear anything. Is this what I can expect from the more adult males regarding the casual sex scene, or is he just super young? I'm a pretty forward lady, but I also want a guy who's going to meet me there and be forward as well. I took it a little far with the photo, but after a few weeks of messaging back and forth and establishing some conversation, I felt like it was a lock that we would meet up and I could be honest and straightforward. Do I need to tread more carefully in the future? It's also so hard with apps because there's more vetting to be done. Are they actually going to be attractive in person? Will we even have the same physical chemistry? An in-person meet breaks those barriers so much easier. What's your advice on all this? Thank you and have a great day. What do we think, Dustin Chafin? She wants casual.
Yeah,
she gets
she's
this
a gem.
guy.
I love this
she
girl.
seems great. Right.
Get the boobs. Come on, that's amazing. You deserve a medal for that. It's like you're bold. You know what you want. You're bringing it in. You're like, come on, let's do this. We ain't got time to waste. How old is she? Like 53 or something? What is it? Was it
82?
Yeah, 82.
Beautiful young woman.
He's like, no, I like her being bold because men are bold all the time, and they get, that kind of thing. They're able to get away with it without, people saying anything. But I like it. I think she knows what she wants, and I think if maybe he wasn't the guy that she should be bold with. Maybe he felt he wanted a little more of a cat and mouse game. That's what I think.
Right. I think what a lot. It is funny. Like it there's this thing going on here that I understand, and it's tough to explain. This male thing of like, what did I want out of this? Yeah. And this guy who you knew, so she meets him in person. They flirt over DM. There's sexting going on. Listen, let me start by saying her sending nudes and is really a side note to all this. That wasn't a mistake. That was in the heat of everything. That to me, that was like appropriate. Right.
Yeah, it's great. Who cares?
His response to me, a lot of men are just like, we're trash. I mean, to put it lightly, but we're piggish, and that's not saying something new, but like the idea of like, got a nude, now I'm done. There's a laziness factor. Like there's a lot of women who write into this show, and women that I've dealt with where they go, I'm there. Let's have this fun, casual thing, and it's almost like it's interesting to me that like that was too much for this guy. And she's like saying, like, even her texting him like, hey, I only want casual. Here's the plan.
Yeah.
Casual has to happen casually.
Yeah, and I think you can't frame it under casual.
Right. You almost
and organically happen.
Right. And I would say most single men who are out on a Saturday night in Spokane or wherever mid-sized city you're in are out looking for this unicorn of casual. They're looking for your situation. Like they're looking for what you're proposing. And I would say to you, that feels a little dangerous. I can understand as a woman, but at the same time, I don't think this route is going to be more confusing than it, because I understand where she's coming from. She's like, he DMs me, we're sexting. Why wouldn't he want the next thing? And I would say the next thing for him is a check he can't cash, is him leaving the house, is him doing gas money, is him feeling awkward, is like, well, what do you mean by casual? I think a lot of men like hide behind a laziness and not really the ability to say to women, I'm cool with just this, and also not believing it. What do you think?
He told you right up front, he instead of hanging out with you and having some great time, he said, I got an 8 a.m. test or whatever. Like he told you who he was right away.
Right.
Like, so he's got, his priority is never going to be you right now. And so, and ultimately, it's like we kind of like the girl that doesn't like us as much. You know what I mean? Like there is that thing where you you show your cards, not your tits, but your cards of like, you like the person a little more, or you want you want their attention. Sometimes we like to, not know you want us that much. I think it is a thing.
Dustin, how many times in your single days, and I'll speak for myself. I'll go, how many times have I been sexting, getting hot and heavy with someone, with a woman, and then she's like, well, just come over. And then at the come over, you go, what do I got to do tomorrow?
Yeah, it seems like a lot more work.
Right.
I got to leave the house. I got to shower. I got to, it's like I got to get an Uber. Like it's a whole thing.
Do I want to sleep there?
Yeah,
Do I? And honestly, the fun was in
all
the
fantasy.
Stuff that,
the fantasy. It's the fantasy sometimes is enough. I mean, I've been in a relationship a long time. Trust me, the fantasy can be enough.
Right.
Or it's like let's just get ice cream and like it's no
right.
deal.
So like that's why it's so funny to me that like the way this guy acted isn't surprising to either of us. And to her, she's like, what do you mean? I got all the tools to build a casual fuck, and he won't put it together. So I think for her, my best, yes, this is something. She says, do I need to tread more carefully in the future? I don't think you need to tread. I mean, I think you're being the right amount of careful.
She's being perfect. Yeah,
right.
I don't think with her. There's going to be a line out the door for this girl. I'll tell you right now.
And then she says, it's, I think for her, it's going out with friends. It's create casual interactions. Create casual. So like the guy sliding in your DM loves living in the internet world. So you have to expect that he might just be an internet guy, like that he only wants the connection over the internet. Now, if you go out with friends and you meet guys in person, you go, hey, let's go to this next bar, and that's how it begins. And hey, what do you? And you start talking to someone, have a couple of drinks, and you say, I would say to someone at a bar, what's your situation? That's a fun question.
Yeah.
And then they say, I'm single.
Like yeah.
Or I'm single. And then you go, well, and then they're going to say, what's your situation? I'm single. I'm recently out of something. I'm kind of looking to like, have a fun time with, new people that I meet. Yeah. Now you're in, you're presenting this casually. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But she needs to never say the word casual ever again. Like, just eliminate that from your vocabulary.
Right. I'm looking
done.
for.
We're done with that word. We're done.
Right. Because what you're saying, I think a lot of times, I'm generalizing, but I don't think I'm wrong. A lot of women want consistency and casual. So they want they want casual that doesn't scream casual to a lot of men.
It's because it's like a girl saying, "I'm funny." You're like, okay, you don't need to say you're funny.
Just be funny.
Say you're casual. Just be funny. Just be casual. You don't have to say it.
Watching Netflix without using ExpressVPN is basically like paying for a gym membership but only being allowed to use the treadmill. It's a terrible idea. Did you know that the shows Netflix offers depend on where the viewer is based? This means you're missing out on a ton of awesome content just because of your location. ExpressVPN is a great way to get around that. It lets you change your location and control where Netflix thinks you're tuning in from, giving you access to thousands of new shows. This works with tons of other streaming services too, like BBC iPlayer, YouTube, and more. I gotta say, I love doing this. I love using this. I am someone who falls asleep watching The Office, and someone once told me that I'm not alone in this. That The Office is one of those shows where the sound. It's a funny show, don't get me wrong, but the sound of it, there's no laugh track, so to fall asleep to it is better than maybe a Seinfeld where you have the up and down of the laughter. So what I do is I set the ExpressVPN to get me to The Office being on Netflix. If tons of new content isn't enough, ExpressVPN also has blazing fast speeds. It's compatible with all of your devices, and it even encrypts your data so you can browse the web securely. This is a great thing for all of you. So be smart. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting access to a fraction of their content. Get your money's worth at expressvpn.com/JTrain. Don't forget to use my link at expressvpn.com/JTrain to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. JTrainPodcast at gmail.com, JTrainPodcast at gmail.com. Here with Dustin Chafin at Dustin_Chafin. Cranky Pants. That's the special. It's on Dry Bar right now. Go watch. Get grandma. Get mom. Get the whole family.
Get brother. The nephews.
Yeah. The nephews. Brother stealing wedding spotlight. Jared, first time writing in, kind of looking to know if I'm the asshole in this situation. Okay, I love it. I'm the asshole. Me and my fiance, 24 and 26. So this person's 24, the fiance is 26. Got engaged November 2022. We have been together for 4 years now. A month later, my older brother and his girlfriend, both 29, decided to start looking for a venue for their future wedding. Thought it was a bit weird, but I didn't think too much of it. It took us until the end of January to find a venue because of some clashing between me and my mom. Long story short, after all the drama, we found a venue and we're all happy with it. We're all happy with wedding will be August 2024. So not this August, but the next August. 2 weeks later, after having vented all my problems and struggles around this to my brother, they announced to us via text that they have booked a venue for May 2024. Okay? So that's preceding them, and that they hoped we're not upset. No warning, no communication to see if we're all right with that. The shock built up over time, and now I'm baffled at how they could do that. My parents seem to think it's great, and I'm being dramatic and selfish. But I think what they did is pretty fucked up, and everyone I've spoken to has agreed, other than my family. I've let my brother and his girlfriend know I'm super upset about this, and that what they did was wrong and comes off as so spiteful, which they didn't see at all, don't see at all, obviously, or they wouldn't have done it. Their reasoning is that they're turning 30 and they want to have 2 kids by 35, to which I said, okay, then start now, then get married later. But am I wrong? Am I the asshole? Would love to know what you think and how I should approach this. Dustin, what do you think? I love this question. I love there's a lot of little tiny alleyways in this email that we could kind of dissect, but what do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of layers here, a lot of issues, a lot of, family is never easy, and my relationship with my brother is kind of ridiculous. I see, sometimes I see movies, and the guy will be like, you killed my brother, prepare to die. And I'd be like, yeah, you killed my brother. Maybe he had it coming, So it's like, it depends on the relationship that you have with your brother. Obviously, there's something going on here. I say you just kind of roll with the thing and make it a bigger, better wedding, because you're going to be able to see his wedding. And what I would do is try to trump that wedding. Like if he's got like a DJ bringing a badass band, if he has if it's some sort of if the food's pretty good, make the food amazing. Like just trump his wedding, bro.
Right. The beauty of going second is you can see all the jokes they did and kind of work off of that. Right. You get to walk
like the
through.
MC. Yeah. You're like, okay. All right. They don't like drug jokes. All right. We'll do this. We're
going to stay away from that.
Yeah, just have fun. You're going to have to get rid of this feeling because it's just going to ruin everything with the family and everything. I say just go to the wedding, put your head up high, play the this doesn't affect me card.
Right.
And, that's what I would do. And then just have a way better wedding. I would just, I would spend the extra money, bring in Kid Rock, whatever. Just make it this crazy wedding.
Well, to get a little bit, to go backwards a little bit, I love this email because she's like, my family thinks I'm wrong. Everyone else that I talk to thinks I'm right. Well, the answer is probably somewhere between the two. Like when she says to her brother, when her brother says, hey, we want to get married before we're turning 30 and we want to have 2 kids by 35. And then you say to them, well, why not get married, have the kids now and get married later? Like, that's not a very empathetic response.
Yeah, and you're trying to guide their life or whatever. That's weird. That's
right. I'm going to say that response, you're not going to win a lot of family members on your side. You sound like my wedding matters more because I'm getting married younger. I didn't fuck up my life by waiting this long. Fuck you. You go, you're basically saying revolve your life around me. And so I would say you don't sound great there. I will say that when I would say the thing your brother did wrong is going to it sounds like 2 weeks later after having vented all my problems and struggles around this to my brother. So you went to your brother individually and said, I'm so mad about trying to find a venue and clashing with my mom. And then 2 weeks later, they announced to us via text. I'm assuming that they booked their venue for May 2024 and they hoped we're not upset. When you put it to this group scenario, that's wrong. So I don't know if it was to the family group chat or if it was to you and your fiance, whatever it was, your brother should have come to you and said, hey, I have some hard news to discuss with you. And because to say, I hope you're not upset, that means you knew upset was coming. So it feels like they tried to pull a fast one by getting everyone against you, because here's what parents care about. Their 2 kids are getting married. They're not in the weeds. They don't think about who's first, who's second. They're just, my 2 kids are getting married. What a beautiful thing. We love their fiance. We love the fiance. Good for us. They are thinking macro. They are not thinking in the micro sense. So it doesn't surprise me that your parents are like, relax, because they're going, they've probably been married 30 years, and they're going, this matters. We don't even remember, like our wedding. They're saying, this will all seem small, but I understand why it seems big to her. To me, the bigger issue is that I would go to the brother and say what I'm upset about, and the thing you have a right to be upset about whatever the fuck you want. But I'm saying the thing that you have a battle to like let him know where he took advantage is, hey, I opened up to you. You knew this was important to me. You didn't, and then you bring it to this public forum where I can have no moment to give you feedback on how I feel. It feels like you tried to, railroad me into your decision to get married preceding my wedding.
Yeah, I mean, any brother that would plan a wedding 2 months before yours isn't going to come to you before the wedding and talk to you in a personal one-on-one thing. I mean, that's just, that guy doesn't have that capacity. Your brother doesn't have that thing. I mean, but at the same time, as much as this, there's no married code. I mean, if people just, you probably just put all this anxiety into them when you told them all your stuff, and they're like, well, I guess we should really figure this out, and let's just do it, and like I don't know if it's malicious. I think it's just like, they just wanted to do it. They just like, let's do it. Let's get it done. And I think you reminded them of it.
I think that's the other thing. It's not malicious. And to say like, this is how I felt. It felt like you kind of tried to like make sure I couldn't have a problem with it. And it's like, and I think like when you say, because that does feel bad, where you're like, oh, they knew what they were fucking doing. Just come to me like a man and say, hey, I'm letting you know what's happening, like, and let's have it out one-on-one. And here's the other thing I would say in her email that's important. She says, it took us till the end of January to find a venue because of some clashing between me and my mom. Long story short, after all the drama, we found a venue we're all happy with. Okay, I would assume that you're probably comparing your venue and your issues with your mom to your brother's non-issues with mom to find the venue. Now you have this comparison thing. And I would
mom
say
likes him better. Mom likes him better, obviously.
Right. This is well, mothers and sons are way different than mothers and daughters.
Oh, the daughter. Yeah. Sorry.
Mother. Well, no, I agree with you. It is, but mothers and daughters. To compare you and your mom clashing about a venue with you and your mom and brother clashing. Yeah. You're comparing apples to potatoes. There is no these relationships are so different. So I think what she's doing is she's channeling all this anger into this one thing, and then now it's going into comparison game. I think she needs to get over it. It's happening. Yeah. I think the one thing that will make you feel better, is to go to your brother and be like, just the way you did it makes me feel like you went behind my back. You didn't treat me like a formidable foe. You treated me as fuck you, babysitter. I'll do what I want. And then I think you watch their wedding like a hawk and you make yours better than theirs.
Well, just like one of your jokes, I think to really get back at everybody, destination wedding. Make everybody spend $3,000 on a hotel in Tuscany or whatever. That's what I would do.
We're going to Rome. Fuck level. All of you. Yeah.
We're going to Rome. If you want to go, it's $4,000. That's what I would do. I would totally do that. Yeah.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here with Dustin Chafin at Dustin_Chafin. Go follow. Hilarious Cranky Pants. That's the special. First gifts in a relationship are tough. Okay. JTrain, big fan of the podcast and the live shows. Getting to my situation, my boyfriend and I have been dating for a little under a year, and this past Christmas was our first time exchanging gifts. In a perfect world, I prefer the first gift for a birthday to set the tone. I like this person. I got to plan my relationship around a birthday so I can set the tone for gifts.
So smart.
rather than this guessing game and worry that I may over or undershoot compared to the gift I receive. And of course, my worries came true when he got me 2 Lululemon items from a limited collection collab with my college and 2 tickets to one of my favorite bands at Red Rocks.
Oh my goodness.
Arguably the best venue in the United States.
Wow, he's a keeper. Yeah.
What a great and thoughtful gift.
Yeah.
I have gotten over that embarrassment and believe that he truly does like my gift and has packed it on multiple ski trips. Okay, I like that she didn't tell us the gift.
It's like a Snuggie or something. Like a packed it, like a toque. It's like a little winter hat.
Right. My issue is that following this gift exchange and embarrassment, I, with some liquid courage, following a girls' wine night, decided I would make up for it with a great birthday gift since his birthday was a month and a half away. Fast forward, and his birthday is now 3 weeks away, and I cannot give it to him. I ordered him sunglasses I knew he liked from visiting the store while we were killing time before a dinner reservation a while back. The specific lenses I liked classified the order as custom, and a recommendation popped up that I could engrave the ear tip for free. In my pursuit of setting the tone as the best gift giver, I had "Love You" engraved. I am unsure where that confidence came from, as we had not said that to each other and have not to this date.
Wow.
Options. I scramble to find another gift and save these for Christmas next year. Cannot return because they are custom. I showed them to my girlfriends who saw no problem giving them to him because boys are dumb and he won't even notice.
That's my favorite response ever.
And then she writes option 3, but she didn't even give an option. Any advice is welcome. At least I hope this gives you as much of a laugh as my group chat got. Sincerely, Jump the Gun. What do you think?
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on here. First of all, it's like, I mean, he seems like to be a great gift giver, and that's a quality that's like, I'm that way. I'll get people amazing gifts, and if I don't get something amazing back, the person giving the gift really doesn't care.
Right.
It's the other person that gets all manic about it. They don't care. Like, if you're willing to do all that, you don't give a crap about it.
You're so right about some people are gift givers and some people are gift receivers.
Yeah.
I'm neither. Like, gifts really don't.
You're a good gift giver. Yeah, you got me a pickle subscription once.
I did get.
I got these amazing pickles once.
Right. If I want to be, I guess I just don't. Gifts don't matter. I don't care to get a gift. And also, I don't look at my gift and then look at the gift I gave and then do like the math on who got better. She's doing a lot of comparison, which isn't fair to her. It's not fair to him. You know, there's a lot of judgment in that.
Yeah, but with you were raised right. So your parents instill this, like, you send nice things, you serve whatever. Like, you have a sense of people. Like,
I guess when I give a gift, it's more important to me not what they get me. It's that they understand how much I cared to give it.
Yes.
You know,
exactly.
and I think she's like doing a lot of scorekeeping that is, you know, it isn't fair. I just think
she's putting too much pressure on herself. One thing that I would say is, like, this is a perfect opportunity to really bond with this guy and basically tell her the entire story. And at the end, like, be like, hey, look, you know, I know you want these glasses, but it's a custom thing, whatever. And I got that. I love you. And I wasn't sure if we're at that point, whatever. I would say all of that. And then at the end, give him the sunglasses.
Yeah.
I think it's a moment, a funny, really beautiful moment.
I agree with you. I think like she's so afraid of owning her feelings.
Yeah.
You love him. This is just say it. You know, whether, like, listen, I love yous don't mean much other than I love you. It doesn't mean like you have to say it back. It doesn't mean, like, I think she's like so afraid of scaring him away. Listen, if he's scared away from an I love you, you're gonna end and break up, and it'll be rather loved to lost than never loved at all situation.
Yeah, and first of all, I love you reading it on sunglasses is way better than most of the time when we just hear it after sex. You know what I mean? Like, so, it is a way cooler way to hear it or see it or read it or whatever.
Right. I think she's, you know, and I'm like mad at her friends. Her friends all sound very immature to me. Like, not one friend said to you, hey, it seems you love him. Just say it. This is the time. This is the time. You created this. This is as heartfelt as it gets. You put thought into it. You got it etched on sunglasses.
Yeah.
You feel this. Whether he feels this or not is not really your problem until it's your problem.
Yeah, and the men dumb comment is a little bit of jealousy on their part because this is a badass dude. He got you Red Rock tickets. He got you, Lululemon. Like they're kind of a little jealous. Like this guy, oh, he's just a dumb guy. No, he's not. This guy's amazing. I want to date this guy. This guy's great.
He's so dumb. He figured out how to get the Lululemon collab with your college.
Yeah. He's so dumb. He got the best venue in America. Yeah.
Right. There's an immaturity showing here, and I get it. You don't want to.
Yeah.
A lot of women don't want to be the first to say I love you. You want to be sure.
But he's a thoughtful guy. He's a thoughtful guy, so he's going to take in whatever you tell him. I guarantee you. I feel that. I really feel that.
And yeah, we're not in. I totally agree. He will take your "I love you" and take it seriously. Whether he says it back, and it'll create a discussion. I think waiting till Christmas to me is like
if he's a real badass, what he'll do is he won't say it back. He'll just get her like a backpack that says "I love you" on the back. He'll get her a gift. They're just exchanging. They never really say it to each other. They just get gifts that have it on it.
It's just etched on everything they own. People walk in their house, they're like, "Why does everything say I love you?"
That's so funny.
Jay, where's your live, laugh, love poster? No, we have "I love yous" just written all over the
everywhere.
Kitchen. JTrain podcast at gmail.com, JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Here with Dustin Chafin at Dustin_Chafin. Friends who should get a divorce.
Ooh. Wow. Took a turn.
Jared, an esteemed guest. About 8 years ago, female late 20s, moved to a new city and became close friends with a guy in my building who also just moved here. Let's call him Zach. Fast forward to a few years ago, we are still best friends and have each managed to land ourselves in serious long-term relationships. Zach is the first to get a serious girlfriend. I become close friends with her. Independent of Zach, Zach and his girl get married. Zach and his wife have had issues, mainly stemming from their polar opposite work schedules and lifestyles. She works in nightlife. He's an engineer. Her insecurity, attachment style stemming from a bad childhood. But here's the kicker. Zach wants kids soon and she doesn't, or at least won't be ready for that in the next 5 years at least. This comes to a head and she decides to move out temporarily to give him space to evaluate the relationship. This was several months ago. Of course, this has created awkwardness with our friend group. It's hard to know who to invite to what, and hearing conflicted stories from each of them has put me in an uncomfortable position as I don't want to tell them what the other has said to me. That might directly contradict the other's story. They keep saying they're going to couples therapy, but it never happens. My opinion and the opinion of the rest of us in the friend group is that they should call it. Get a divorce so y'all can move on and have a chance at a life with someone more compatible. The ambiguity of them still being together but living separate lives has put us all in a bizarre purgatory. I know I'm centering myself here, but I am experiencing major compassion fatigue as I continue to try and be a supportive friend to two people who just need to break up. I love them both so much and want them to be happy. What do you think?
Oh, wow. Just get a dog. That's what I say.
Right.
Kids ruin everything. Kids ruin everything. I'd say, no, it's a lot. I mean, well, first of all, the relationship, that's something that, if they can't see it, then, that's kind of on them. And then putting it on their friend. I mean, that's what friends are for. Friends are there to help you. And the fact that this one friend has a very complicated situation that they have to kind of give one advice and give the other. And I don't know. I mean, it's like I remember being in relationships with people who wanted something strongly, and I like, hey, I want kids or something, and I never really did, and and sometimes it worked for a while, and then sometimes I got to a point where I was like, all right, I'm out. It's like I'm not this guy for you. But I think it's more they need to have this conversation. I think a therapist is going to tell them the exact same thing their friends telling them, that they should just move on or whatever. Who knows? I don't know, but maybe they can find some balance. I don't know. It's
you said something, you were joking, but I think your joke is kind of my answer, is like, you're like, get a dog. And well, I think this person who wrote in needs the dog, because I think you got to back away from your friend.
Oh,
like, I think what we don't realize is that if we're like this person who wrote in, I think this is a very well-written email. I think this is like a huge issue. I understand the issue. They even wrote the way they compassion fatigue. I love that phrase.
Yeah, that's a real thing. I believe that.
I totally believe that. And I would say to them, like, and again, this person, maybe they don't realize it, or they probably do. They're a crutch for this couple to stay together.
Absolutely.
Because they, the more time they spend talking to you, the less time they're talking to each other, and the less time they're realizing we're not the right match. So, and I think you and the friends, if you can get everyone together, like, you've heard the stories, you've heard both sides, you have come to your conclusion, you've put your gavel to the desk, and you've said, hear me, you should get a divorce. That's your opinion. That ain't changing. It's over for you. There's no stories that you could be told that makes you think of a different conclusion for this couple. I would say to each of them individually, I would say, my opinion is that you need to get a divorce and find the right match for you. You are two good people. You are two of my best friends. You are two people that I wish the best for. But to me, this ain't going to work out. And I would say, and furthermore, I'm done hearing about this. That is my advice. I have people that DM me all the time, and I have an advice tier on my Patreon because I created it just because I couldn't spend. I had to respond to people. Hey, I give advice here if this is what you want. But I've given advice in the past over DM, and what you notice is they go to the same story every time. It's the same story, and then there's a point where you have to say, I have given my advice. I have given my piece. And I think this person needs to say to both of them individually, I've said my piece. I think you should get a divorce. I'm done talking about you two. And then you need to back away.
Yeah. I've been in a relationship a long time. I feel like, we're coming up on 17 years, I think, a long time. And I think the key, in my opinion, I'm not a professional, but the key to a relationship is just be in a relationship where either one of you don't talk negative about the person. And then if you can get to that point where you're you're not complaining to a friend or a thing. And I know a lot of people do this and they stay together or whatever. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think I just feel like as long as you're not doing that with each other, I think it's a successful relationship. As long as you're not complaining to your mom, complaining to your friend, about the person, because you've developed this relationship with each other. You talk to each other about this. You don't go to another person. You talk to each other. As long as you always have that, you're going to stay together. You're not going to have problems, Well,
because when you talk to other people and you don't do anything about it, that's where the fatigue comes in, because you go, why did I just give you all this? And it's like, and if you do the same story every time, you have to go, what did you expect from this interaction? If nothing's learned, nothing's done, all you're doing is using me. And I think this person's being used to ignore the issue, which is they got to do some shit, which is divorce proceedings.
Yeah. I mean, and best thing ever happened to my parents is when they divorced. They got happy. Right. My relationship was better with them and everything.
Right. Right.
Not a horrible thing. Divorce is sometimes it's necessary,
And when it's just a breakup with no kids, that, this is. I once dated a divorce attorney, and she would call a breakup with no kids, or a divorce with no kids, a fancy breakup. That's what she would call it. JTrain podcast at gmail.com, JTrain podcast at gmail.com, here with Dustin Chafin, at Dustin_Chafin. I make more money than my friends. Jared and guest, all the feathers to you. Thanks for all the laughs. Seeing you in person in Hartford, Connecticut last year was a highlight for sure. I was the girl in the front row with the broken arm. Oh, that's fun. Well, thank you for coming. You really brought me joy at a time when I was super low. Anyways, to my question. I was visiting NYC with my friends last weekend, and we had all been out for the day. For reference, we're all 26. They wanted to walk and take the subway home. I was tired and looked up an Uber. It would have been $50. I was going to pay and never asked them to give me money. I told them that I was going to order it, and they all said, no, the subway is cheaper, and that's too expensive. Like I said, I never asked them to pay, and my feet were tired, and I didn't want to walk home, so I was super annoyed. Why wouldn't they let me buy the Uber? Why do people get so weird about people doing nice things for them, especially when it has to do with one person making more money? Would love to hear you and your guest insights. What do you think, Dustin?
Well, I have very rich friends, friends that are millionaires and, all this stuff. And I love it that they make more money than me. And you know what? People always say money can't buy happiness. Those people have never flown private. Right. So, yeah, I mean, that sounds like, then you just take the Uber then. Don't put it on your friends to make a decision if they want you to pay for it. Then you just take the Uber by yourself. I mean, that's a decision that you can make as well. You can just say, like, I'm sorry, guys, I hate to be a prima donna or whatever, but I'm going to take an Uber because my feet are tired. Then you make it about your feet being tired, not this other class thing. Well,
that's the thing. They took quite a leap. They went, why wouldn't they let me buy the Uber? And I'm like, well, I can give a couple reasons to that. You're visiting from out of town, from Hartford. You're visiting, you live a different lifestyle than them. They are in a daily New York lifestyle, which they have, the idea of like, I'm not taking Ubers every day. This isn't an Uber day for me. This was a subway and walk day for me. I know, I think when you live in the place, you're different with money than when you're visiting the place. So I can give you a number of
vacation.
Reasons. Yeah. Right. You vacation me. I'm like, sifting off money left and right. I'm fucking throwing bills around, like, especially when
buy new swim trunks, like the whole thing. Yeah. It's like,
But like New York City me, I'm like, I should do the subway. I can't do this every day. It's just two different types of people. Now, why do people get so weird about people doing nice things for them, especially when it has to do with one person making more money? Now you have taken it to a different place, and I would actually be on your friend's side where I'd be like, if I got that vibe from you that you were doing this because you made more money than me, I wouldn't like that as well.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty on her part. Like you can't just assume that. Because I think you're totally right. And first of all, it's just like, it's the subway's fun if your friends are on it.
Right.
It's horrible if you're by yourself, but if your friends are on it, you're still, because you're carrying out that conversation, you're having fun, you're still together. And I think ultimately it is about that when you visit your friends, being together. It could be anywhere. It could be on the subway. It could be walking home. It's about that time, and you don't get that time a lot. So you need to take advantage of that precious time.
And you said something so important where it's like, listen, if someone's tired and they go, I'm going to take an Uber, that is totally, hey, I'm taking an Uber. My feet are fucking killing me.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to come, no problem.
Don't make it.
Right. When you were right, because if they said, hey, let's take an Uber is different than I'm taking an Uber, you're more than welcome. But this is something I'm doing for me. This person needed to own it. I'm doing this. I don't care what this says about me. If you make it into, they're so bougie, they're such a snob, that's not my problem. But when you say, let's take an Uber, now you make everyone have to like look at their wallets. That's a different vibe. These are two different things socially.
Yeah, or you say it very quickly. Hey, Uber on me. Let's go. My feet are tired. Get in. Come on, girls. Let's do it. You make it very,
But I would even get rid of the on me. Just like listen, you want to take an Uber.
Yeah.
I'm taking an Uber. I don't give a fuck about what you guys do. I don't care about how you spend your money. When you make it, now you've made it into this socialism thing where it's like, now there's judgment. I think it's the way she presented it that's the issue.
Yeah, it is. It is about her and her feet or whatever. You can't have both. You can't make it about some social thing and
right.
When ultimately you're just getting old and your feet are tired because you work harder than everybody because you're making more money.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast slackers at gmail.com. Those people living off of us, Richies. Right.
Stimulus check friends of yours.
Right. Let's do one more. You ready?
Absolutely.
Getting over feelings for a coworker. Okay.
Wow.
Jared, Endless Feathers. I'm reaching out to get some advice on how to move on from someone you caught feelings for at work. I hooked up with a coworker over the summer after flirting and coworker friendship for my first few months at the job. I'm 28, he's 25. It was after a company social event where we all got drunk, and I ended up crashing at his place post-event, where we then confessed feelings for each other after I found a card I had made him still next to his bed. He told me before we hooked up that this would just be a hookup for him, as he couldn't commit to a relationship because he wasn't in a position to emotionally commit to someone again yet. He had recently moved to the area for an ex who then dumped him when he made it out here. He thought he was going to marry her, etc. Against my better judgment, after an emotional conversation about all of that, we hooked up anyways and I slept over. His friend had also crashed overnight, so he drove us both back to our cars. The next morning, we didn't talk about it. It was painfully awkward for a few months after that. I tried to connect 3 different times to talk about it, clear the air, sober, but he blew it off and bailed all 3 times. I struggled between choosing to ice him out or act normally to not rock the boat, and we eventually settled into this weird work-only friendship again. Although we are in different departments, we see each other every day and do have some mutual responsibilities. It's been 7 months since we hooked up, and we still have never talked about our hookup or feelings. My feelings for him haven't gone away at all, even though I think it's pretty clear I'm just a cute girl at work who he knew liked him and ended up at his place at the right time. It honestly only makes me feel more pathetic and hurt. Our friendship and banter when we have it only perpetuates my feelings, and he notices immediately whenever I try to distance myself. He'll often either try and initiate work banter conversations with me when I get a little distant or cold, or do the complete opposite and look terrified when we run into each other because he can tell I don't want to interact, and it's super awkward. I was a mess today when I learned he might take a date to the big company gala, and I am so tired of seeing him every single day and being sad. I don't know what else to do. I've been trying to keep dating, going out with friends, enjoy other parts of my life, clubs I'm part of, etc. And I see a therapist every 2 weeks. I am trying so hard to move past this. Any advice is appreciated. Love. Never shit where you eat. Dustin Chafin, what do you think?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I think we've all been here.
Right.
This is a weird one. You know, it's funny. Whenever I see a guy that has like a girl that's a little more attractive than he should have, it's usually because he met her at work. Like, I feel like that's
wore down.
Like that's always the leverage up on a bar meet or, you know, that kind of thing. So it happens a lot. I don't know if I 100% believe his backstory, but maybe, I mean, if he's taking a new date to the thing, I guess maybe it's true. I mean, sometimes guys can be, you know, they just want that one time with the cute girl at work because it is a fantasy. It's a porn genre, you know. So you can see a lot of guys, the work fantasy, it's a thing. And
it's also guys see the ending before they see this beautiful romantic Cinderella story. Like, you know, when we go, you could see, I mean, what they did is very male. They go back to his place. He gets it to the end of the road. And then he goes, before we go any further, this won't be serious. Here's all the reasons that I won't be serious, because he knows that if and when the breakup comes, he is going to make a mess of his own work situation. So it was easier to be upfront at the last possible second with someone he's attracted to.
That's pretty shitty. Yeah.
Yeah, it's shitty. And it's also this is what guys do. He's not thinking of, well, maybe we're meant to be. He's thinking this will end probably. Let me make sure I have outs before this happens, and I'll make it all her decision and not mine. That's the shitty part. He makes it all her, where you can opt in to hook up with guy who has told you he can't be serious with you.
Yeah, and also I think you need to hook up with Jeff in finance. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you need to find a dude that he hates at work, and then just like go for that guy. But
well, I would say that would help. Go with Jeff in finance. You know, suck his dick in front of the copy machine while this guy comes over to me. What? What's going on? I guess you've moved on, right?
No, but it's tough, you know, because you do develop relationships, you know, a feeling for people at work because you're with them so much. It's like you have the same, you know. Goals and whatnot. You're working at the same company, so it's easy to get attached.
Listen, she's seeing a therapist. I'm not a therapist. Dustin is not a therapist. I don't think at this point. I haven't seen him in
kind
a bit.
I mean, you know, I ran a comedy club. It's kind of the same thing.
Right,
you know,
same thing.
Raising comics.
I would say to her, my best advice is she needs to break up with him. And I think that's a little out of the box. I think that's like a bit, but right now, she's not gotten her chance to like say that this won't happen again. Right now, to her, it's still a possibility. He's still flirting with me at work. He's still talking to me. We're still cool at work. We have this banner. He cares every time I get icy. He's obviously attracted to me because he did hook up. So she's like all the ingredients are here to make a cake. So she's holding out hope that the cake will be made. I am here to tell her this cake will always taste like shit. You don't, it's just not going to happen. And I would say to her, what she needs to do, and she said something very important in her email. She wrote, she tried to get together with him. She says, I tried to connect 3 different times to talk about it, clear the air sober, but he blew me off and bailed all 3 times. I struggle between choosing to ice him out and normally.
Yeah. I mean, also, there's really nothing to talk about. That's the problem. She's making.
But that's the thing.
Yeah.
He's
giving you his answer. So
and that's the problem. She's looking to hash this out. She needs to go in with a direct breakup. Hey, I need to let you know. It's not we need to talk. It's I need to talk to you. I think that's her mistake. That's why he's avoiding this talk, because he goes, we have nothing to talk about. It's like, no, I have to tell you something. I think that's a different thing. He can't cancel, I have to tell you something. He can cancel, we have to talk, because in his mind, what are we talking about? I told you where I was before the hookup. We hooked up. I told you where I still am. I think because she wrote, it's been 7 months since we hooked up and we still have never talked about our hookup or feelings. That's the wrong perspective to me.
Yep.
You still haven't broken up with him. He has broken up with you. He has told you his feelings. I'm attracted, but I don't see a relationship. I am telling you that I'm not ready to get into this relationship. He thinks he's done. You need to let him know I am not done. I have to tell you something.
Yeah, first of all, I think you should just ignore him for a while. Just try to limit conversation with him. And this work event, you try to find the hottest, coolest dude you could think of to come with you. If you have to pay them and be like, look, dude, it's like,
I think the breakup has to precede the ice out. He'll never believe the ice out. You have to break up.
She doesn't have to. You saying she has to say something to him? I don't think she has
to. Because she has to. Because
he doesn't want to hear her. He doesn't want to hear this.
It's not her. But this isn't about him. This is about she's sitting here seeing a therapist twice a week, or seeing a therapist every 2 weeks, trying to date, going out with friends, enjoying other parts of her life, and she says, "I'm so tired of seeing him every single day and being sad."
But he's not going to respect that moment. He's not going to respect that moment if she does.
Well, it's not. But it's not about respect for. I'm talking about. It's not from his. It's not about him.
Yeah.
She needs to relieve herself of believing this could ever happen.
She can do that without talking to him, I think.
I disagree. I think if she says to him, we are broken up, I am not going to pursue this, which also means we can't be having office banter. I need to back away from you. I don't think he realizes how much of an effect he had on her.
He doesn't, because he has a penis. Of course he doesn't. Yeah.
But I'm saying, well, she needs to add barbed wire around her so that penis is afraid to come up to her ever again.
I think it should be short. I think it should be like...
Oh, short.
Once he tries to come in and be jokey or whatever, like, look, hey, if you want to banter with me, then we need to kind of discuss a little bit about that night. Otherwise, I don't want to talk to you. She's make it quick.
Because right
not
now...
Not a whole emotional thing.
No. I agree, but when you're telling him we are over and we are done as friends, that is different than we got to talk about our feelings. He's going to avoid that. It could be quick. I just think right now she's microdosing pain right now because they keep going. It's this cycle of, oh, he's cool to me today. Maybe today's the day he realizes that we're the perfect relationship, and it's like that's not going to happen.
There's some denial happening, but but there's more sadness than denial. Like
absolutely,
she understands it. But I hope she gets a good dude. I really do, and bring him to that event. Bring him to that event.
JTrain
like tuxedo or something.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com, JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Dustin Chafin, thank you so much for coming on. This is fantastic.
Thank you, buddy. It was so fun. It's always fun to see. I feel like comic friends, sometimes the only time we really get to hang out is on a podcast.
I know. It's such a...
But it's still great, though. It's still great.
It is great. And also, like, the phones go away. I think it's like a more fruitful conversation.
It is. And there's other people that hear it, listen to it, but it is right. Like it's zeroed in. We're present. Like, it's funny.
Listen, everyone go follow Dustin. He's hilarious at Dustin_Chafin. Dry bar comedy special. It's called Cranky Pants. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Monday with your emails, your stories, your questions. Back next week. Boom.